Hello YouTubers and welcome back to my show. Tonight's episode is going to be back with the X-Wing again. And as you can see from the last video, I've completed painting of the I've almost completed painting the base coat. A couple of areas need to be retouched with the base color, but overall I think it's just about ready for paint. Well, ready for the accent colors and such. Tonight I plan on, what I want to do is get the base all painted, I want to finish getting the base color done, and then I'm going to start working on the stripes. Now, I bought some decals for this from JBot, and great service, by the way. He was very willing to work with me on making the custom decal for the for R2-D2 and for the cockpit dashboard, which I'm going to show in just a second. And he was also pretty quick about shipping my my decals. It took a little while, and which is completely understandable. I've dealt with Canada Post before, and his situation over there is not unique by any means. He's done they've got a history of being pretty slow with delivering packages, and especially with customs, getting them out of the country. And so I wasn't at all surprised that it took as long as it did for my packages to get here. For my package to get here. Actually, packages. I did order new decals from him. I had to reprint. I had to get the console reprinted because, like an idiot, I forgot to give him the dimensions that I wanted, and so he had to guess what my what the final size was. And yeah, just reminder: if you ever do order custom decals, make sure you give the dimensions and specifications that you want. The decal producer can't read your mind, and even if you're conscientious of that, like I am, you still might slip up and forget to give him the dimensions. If you, well, I figure you won't. You might not remember if you don't get a reminder from someone. So this is my reminder to you: if you ever decide to get custom decals, which you probably will eventually decide to get custom decals, then always give the right dimensions, because you don't want to spend money on decals and then wait for them to get here and then have them not fit. That would be bad. So, yeah, this X-Wing is just about ready. I am so glad, so happy that it's getting so close to being finished. This is, I think I might have mentioned this before, but it can't hurt to mention it again. It's been on my workbench since May, and I wanted it to be done by September. Well, this is November, and it's still not done. So I'm going to have to put in some extra time and speed up on this. Well, not sacrificing quality. I'm just going to spend a little more time in the evening getting things right. So anyway, like I said, the thing we're going to do tonight is base coat the base coat the base, finish the base coat on the X-Wing, and then start working on the panels. And I'm tired of not living up to my predictions for what's going to happen, so I'm going to say that's what we're going to do tonight. And if we have more time, I will start the weathering process. So let's go up to my paint booth, as I'm going to call it, and get started on finishing the paint job. I'm going to skip past painting the base and painting the X-Wing and go right into doing the panels, because that's going to take forever, and you know, that will probably consume the entire video if I don't get to the weathering. So let's get up to my paint booth. Now, didn't that turn out well? I masked off the Rebel insignia, of course, after I painted the bottom here light ghost gray, and then I took some of this Flokewool Boxcar Red, and I used that as a base for the entire Rebel insignia. A lot of people, by the way, use a really bright red for their insignia, and I chose not to for a specific reason. I I don't know too much about color theory, but I do know this. When you have a dark color next to a light color, it makes the light color it makes light colors stand out more. And if you look here, if you notice the X-wing a little more than you do the base. It's because darker colors make your eyes move towards something brighter. It works with almost every application. So if you want a good color for a base, and you need something that's not black, like I had to use red on here, you want to use something that's darker than the main color of your model. In this case, I've got this painted camo gray. Light ghost gray is several shades darker, of course, and boxcar red is even darker than that. But anyway, after I painted it boxcar red, I took and mixed and took some rubber, Testors rubber, just this stuff here, this plain old rubber looking color. It's actually not dark. It's not actually not black. It's kind of a dark brown color, which goes well with the boxcar red. It makes it look like it's weathered and burnt, which is what I want. I want it to look. I want the base to have its own style, but not something that is so loud that it overwhelms the X-wing. But anyway, after I blackened the edges a bit, I brightened this area right here with by mixing boxcar red and white, and that's so this right here will allow the decal that I'm going to place over it to stand out more. I've got black text that I'm going to have right here, which will detail the X-wing's specifics. You know, all of the information on propulsion systems, the shields, weapons, all that sort of thing. And also I've got labels for these buttons here, which will tell you which one turns it on, like on and off over here. The sound effects, or actually on the sheet I called it the comm system, just to keep it in style. And then the S-foil toggle and the cockpit actuator. So I think the base is going to be just about as well done as the model. And also another thing I did, if you'll look here, I faded. It might be a little hard to tell, but I faded from red to black, going towards the ship. And I'm probably not going to touch this area down here, except to do weathering and repaint some of these panels with the correct colors. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and take care of a couple of problems with the base coat. Chief of them being that there is some light leakage still from the engine cans. So I'm going to have to paint these. I'm going to have to repaint them black and then go over them again with camo gray. And then, and also a couple of things I need to touch up around here, like a couple of splatters that I have no idea where they came from the red. Yeah, that's a mystery to me, because I didn't have that airbrush anywhere near up here. I guess it must have just popped up and splashed onto the cockpit. It's hard to see, I know, but actually there is a little splotch right here and one over here that you actually would not be able to see. And actually there's one on the engine can too. Oh, how in the world did that... Well, never mind. I'll fix it later. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and touch up the paint job on this, the overall paint job. Then I'm going to get to masking the stripes and the panel lines. Not the panel lines, but the panels themselves. I'm going to have to paint them their own colors first. Actually, you know what? It'd be better to paint the underlying colors first. But before I do any of that, I have to do some research. Research is a big part of modeling. If you want to make your model look like what it's supposed to, you have to you have to get some books out, go on the internet, do some real searching, and find as much information as you can on your subject so that you get the proper, so that the color scheme is close to what you remember. And you actually might miss some stuff if you don't research your model, and it won't. It won't. It's not like you have to be totally accurate, but something just won't feel right if you do that. Unless you're not unless you're so unfamiliar with it that you just don't care. So anyway, I'm going to go, I'm going to fix the paint job first, and then I'm going to go on the internet and look at my books and research the X-Wing's color scheme, Red 5 to be precise, because, you know, the sound effects are from Luke Skywalker. So, I'm going to have to, I'll be right back. Okay, got the base coat finally finished, at least as far as I can tell. Now, as you'll see here, I've got the engines lit, so I'm going to take, I'm going to turn the light off and just see if they, if the new light blocking coat that I put on actually worked. Well, I think that's success. As you can see here, the engines are lit, but there is nothing coming out the sides of the cans, which is exactly what I want. Now, the next phase of this little operation is to paint the main, not the main stripes, but all of the individual hull panel colors. I've noticed that there's at least 3 different main colors besides the red stripes. There's yellow, green, and gray. And the gray is in several shades, but the yellow and green are both fairly consistent. So I'm going to begin masking this, and of course I'm not going to show you the masks. I'm just going to go ahead and finish masking it, then paint the thing, and then you can see what I've done, and hopefully it will look like Red 5. Well, at least Red 5 before the stripes.